Hi, English 11. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Glass Castle, pages 26 through 41. Just wanted to go through some things that you read for that part. We focused on metaphors for that assignment because there were quite a few in that passage or that section that I had you guys read. And we learned in this passage that, how Rosemary and Rex, how they got together. We learned about how that they had a baby who had died and how that affected Rex differently than it affected Rosemary. Rosemary's kind of like, yeah, that's just kind of how is what it is. And Rex was really never the same after that happened. One of my favorite stories of this book is on page 29. So if you want to pause and grab your book while we look at page 29. Do you like always moving around? Lori asked me. Of course I do, I said. Don't you? Sure, she said. It was late afternoon and we were parked outside of a bar in the Nevada desert. It was called the Bar None Bar. I was 4 and Lori was 7. We were on our way to Las Vegas. Dad had decided it would be easier, as he put it, to accumulate the capital necessary to finance the prospector if he hit the casinos for a while. We had been driving for hours when he saw the Bar None Bar, pulled over the green caboose. The Blue Goose had died, and we now had another car, a station wagon, Dad had named the green caboose, and announced he was going inside for a quick nip. Mom put on some lipstick and joined him, even though she didn't drink anything stronger than tea. They'd been inside for hours. The sun hung high in the sky, and there was not the slightest hint of a breeze. Nothing moved except some buzzards on the side of the road, peeking over an unrecognizable carcass. Brian was reading a dog-eared comic book. So I just remember my brother and I, we used to have this cabin in this little tiny town called Preston, Missouri. Currently has a population of 225, I think. And it has a restaurant, a gas station, and it's very close to Lake Pomme de Terre. If you know what Lake Pomme de Terre is, it's not that far from the Lake of the Ozarks, but we would always go to Lake Pomme de Terre growing up. And so it used to have this bar, and my parents wanted, I think my dad more than my mom, wanted to go out, and my brother and I were, I don't know, I want to say I was 10, and so maybe my brother was 7, and my dad wanted to go have a drink at this bar, and so it's at night, and so my brother and I can't go in, and so my parents left me and my brother we had a Blazer, left us in the Blazer in this parking lot in like the middle of nowhere while my parents were in this bar. And I just remember like being pitch black, and we're just watching people walk out to their cars, and we're kind of scared, right? Because, we're by ourselves in the dark, and it was just not great parenting at all. But this kind of reminds me of that. So that's one of the parts of the book that I like because it reminds me of that. So then later, they're driving in the car on page 30. Just then we took a sharp turn over some railroad tracks. The door flew open and I tumbled out of the car. And then the car just keeps going, and they leave her behind. They don't even know she's gone. So then she's thinking about the cat, Coyote, right? She's like, oh my God, they left me just like they left the cat. They're never coming back for me. And then eventually they remember that, or they notice that she's gone. And then they remember, they come back and get her. And she says on page 31, "I thought you were going to leave me behind," I said. "Oh, I'd never do that," he said. "Your brother was trying to tell us you'd fallen out, but he was blubbering so damn hard we couldn't understand a word he was saying." And I wrote on the side of my book, do the parents ever take responsibility? Like, do they ever say, "I'm sorry"? You know, it's like, we didn't know you were gone, and it's your brother's fault we didn't know because he was crying so hard. So, you know, they just never take responsibility. I think you can agree that Dad is really smart. I mean, he's not dumb. He is very smart. And Jeanette keeps having this fascination with fire. It's like something that tried to kill her but didn't. And so now she's fascinated by it. So those are some things that happened. And then there were some examples in this reading you did of Rex being a good dad, which was good and nice, because you have this. He's so hard to like at times, but then he has these great moments, and then you do like him. So you're so conflicted about the kind of person that he is and the kind of dad that he is. So, all right. So for the next assignment, you're going to read pages 42 through 61. And for 42 through 61, this is what you're going to do. You are going to, I'm going to move this so you can see it. And I think I'm going to sneeze too. Excuse me. So, you're going to create a video answering these 5 questions. And your answers must come from pages 42 through 61. They cannot come from any other part of the book, because I want you to focus just on these pages. And I'm going to be asking you to read portions of the text in your recording, so make sure that you're prepared. So you've maybe marked pages in your book before you start recording. And you have a limit of 10 minutes. You do not need to talk for 10 minutes. If you're done in 5, great. Don't fill up 10 minutes. You just can't go over 10 minutes. So the 5 things I want you to talk about are, I want you to read a portion of the text you found most shocking and explain why you chose this portion. So that means as you're reading 42 through 61, you're reading and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that." Then you're going to say, "The part that I found most shocking was when blah, blah, blah." And then you're going to read that part to us and then tell us why you found it shocking. You're going to do the same thing with read a portion you found most annoying, and then why you chose it. Read a portion of the text that you feel is ironic, and explain how it's ironic. Read a portion of the text that is an example of Rex being a decent dad, not in the past part we've read, but on pages 42 through 61. And what are your feelings of Rosemary as a mother? Read a portion of the text to defend your stance. So again, all of your answers need to come from 42 through 61. You're going to hit, if you can see here, you'll press record. And then it will ask for access to the camera and the microphone. You need to allow, and then you can record your answers to those. So again, I would, before you sit down to record it, I would be ready with your answers so that you know what pages you want to go to and everything else. So as always, reach out for any questions. If you need any help with anything, I'm happy to help you.